Hey guys, this is the client hourly log. And how I want to start this is exactly the same way I started the timesheet. I'm going to fill out 3 shifts that match the timesheet so you can see the correspondence there. But I just want to clarify what the client hourly log is. So this is essentially a document that specifies the staff that worked specifically with the client. So, for example, this is John Doe and this is me. Okay? So John Doe was the client that I worked with, and I'm the staff that is documenting this CHL. So if there's any other staff that worked with John, we don't document that here. The other staff that worked independently with John is going to fill out their very own client hourly log. You don't have to worry about who all works with John. All you have to worry about is what shifts you specifically worked with John. If you worked with multiple clients in a pay date range, then all you're going to do is create a separate client hourly log for each client you worked with. It's pretty straightforward. The reason we document, you document or it didn't happen. And that's the way the state works. We've got to make sure we document. We need to make sure it's very clearly and professionally documented as well. If there are any questions about this, please make sure you ask. We want to be very clear. We want you to make sure that you have a very clear understanding of what is expected. So I'm just going to go, for sake of time, I've already filled out the first definition. But let's just go. So I'm going to match the timesheet 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. for a total of 3 hours, and that was supported living SLH. The summary, this is the only thing different between the timesheet and the client hourly log. The client hourly logs have the report summary. Okay? On the report summary, you want to talk in third person. You want to be clear and detailed, but to the point as much as possible. And you want to make sure that there's no emotion involved in what you're trying to say, but that you get all the details out and some of the important parts of what happened during the day completed. For example, John and staff worked on John's daily chores. John was able to complete his laundry and other necessary chores. John and staff then went on a walk to the park and to Walmart, where John likes to visit the electronics section. John had a good day today. That's a great summary. It's not one sentence, it's full. It's covered both lines, which is plenty of information for that shift. I'll continue on. The next shift we work is the third. Time in was 3 p.m. as I noticed before, or as I documented before on the timesheet. 3 p.m. that's 4 hours, and that was supported employment. So I'm going to put down John and staff went to work at Wendy's. John's supervisor asked John to work the front end and then switch halfway through his shift to the cashier. John struggled with adding up the correct change in a reasonable amount of time. John will work on this at home. There it is. Okay, so the definition there, pretty straightforward. If I have any question about the SEI and what happened, there's the definition. I know exactly what happened. You documented 3 to 7, 4 hours, and that's SEI. It looks the exact same as the timesheet. I've doubled and triple checked it. Now remember, that shift I worked from 3 p.m. until 10 p.m., but I've got to change my billing code and the service code because it's not the same. We're not focused on the same thing. So from 7 o'clock on, 7 p.m. until 10 p.m., which is 3 hours, I went back to SLH. After work, John and staff went back to John's apartment. John changed his clothes and wanted to play a board game. John and staff played chess and watched and Uno before staff had to leave. John learned a lot today. No, I don't want to put that because it's the SLH. So I'm going to put John had a great day today and is focusing on his goals and is consistently... Okay. So those are the 3 shifts. These take a little bit longer than the timesheet, obviously, because we have the report summary section. But it's really important. Again, I'll reiterate, it's specific to you and the client. This is your documentation. If there's ever a discrepancy, if there's ever someone or the state that challenges it, that says, hey, what did you do? And all you wrote on it was great shift. I mean, that's just going to be bad news bears all day. So you're going to want to make sure that you have great documentation. I've created this so it's fillable. You don't have to write it out if you don't want. If you'd like to, you can print it off, write it out, and then use the app, Adobe Scan app, to scan it in and email it. However, this is, I think, the easiest way. Now, the bottom of this, you're going to see that there's not just a total hour section like the timesheet. You're going to see that it's separate because this client could have 3, maybe even 4 separate billing codes. And in this case, he has 2. So there's SLH and SEI. So I'm going to total each billing code, all the hours for each billing code. So SLH, there's 3 there, and then there's another 3. So that's 6 hours total. Whoops. For SLH. And then I know that there are 4 hours for SEI. So if anyone were to ever look at this, they would know that Jake Probert worked with John Doe 6 hours of SLH and 4 hours of SEI. I'm confident I've doubled and triple checked it. I only worked 3 shifts with him that pay period, but this is a complete and very well looking client hourly log. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the timesheet. I'm going to save as. Hopefully this doesn't take too long, but I'm going to save it as a PDF on the desktop so that I can send it together with the timesheet. I'll show you what I mean. So again, we're going to label everything with the first and last initial, and then I'm going to put the form name, and because it's the client hourly log or a behavior incident report, I'm going to put the client's first name and last initial, and then I'm going to date it, and then I'm going to put the date range of the pay period. And that's it. Save it to the desktop. You'll go here, you see that I've saved both the client hourly log and the timesheet so it corresponds and I can check. That's it for the client hourly log. Please continue on with the tutorials to be able to see how you send it in email. and any other forms that you'll need to do on the computer.